Commander Hannah Lee stared at the screens, showing space around Earth. Her coffee had gotten cold, but she did not care. Something big was coming, and she could feel it in her bones. "Ships coming in fast," said Lieutenant Jiho Park from his desk. "Wait, this is not normal. These are not our ships." The big screen turned on, and Hannah felt her heart stop. Thousands of alien ships appeared from nowhere. They looked like black knives floating in space. The ships moved together like they shared one mind. In just a few hours, they surrounded Earth and all the human colonies. "Get the president on the phone now," Hannah said. Her voice was calm, but inside she was scared. The biggest alien ship moved right above Earth. Then a voice came through their speakers. It sounded strange and harsh, like rocks grinding together. "I am Supreme Admiral Vorth of the Hegemony Coalition," the voice said. "Your people must give us all your fast ships. You must destroy your armies. You have 72 hours to become our slaves." The screen showed a huge creature with 4 arms and skin like gray stone. It was 8 feet tall and looked down at them like they were insects. "We have watched your kind," Vorth said. "You fight too much. You cannot be trusted to rule yourselves. Do what we say, and you can live as our servants. Say no, and you die." The screen changed to show dead planets. Cities turned to ash. Whole worlds, with no life left on them. "These people said no to us," Vorth continued. "Now they are all gone. Far below the ground in Australia." Dr. Minho Webb watched the same message. Around him, his team of smart people worked on a secret project. Behind them stood a giant robot, 200 feet tall. It was their last hope to save humanity. "Sir," said Dr. Yuki Choi, "the brain connection system is not ready. If we try to use it now, people might die." "We have no choice," Minho said, his hands moving fast over the controls. "Find people who can control these machines. Find them now." Back in space, Hannah got a call from President Kim. His old face looked tired and worried. "Commander Lee, can we win this fight?" Hannah looked at the alien ships. There were so many, they blocked out the stars. "They can kill us all in a few hours, sir. Our weapons cannot hurt their shields. But there is something else." "What?" "Humans never give up to bullies. We always find a way to fight back, no matter how bad things look." President Kim nodded. "Then we fight. God help us." The president's message went out to every human in space, from the poor areas of Neo-Tokyo to the mining towns on far planets. Everyone heard the same words. "My fellow humans," President Kim said to the cameras, "today we might all die. These aliens want us to give up our freedom. They want us to bow down to them. They think we are too dangerous to be free." He stopped talking for a moment, and his eyes showed he would never give up. "They are right about one thing. We are dangerous, and we choose to fight." The countdown started. 72 hours until the aliens would attack. Hannah felt strangely calm as she watched the timer. In 3 days, humans would either be free or dead. There was no middle choice. Down in the secret lab, the giant robot waited. Dr. Webb and his team worked without stopping. They knew this machine might be the only thing that could save their world. The robot was not like anything ever built before. It was made to connect with a human brain. The person inside would become part of the machine. Together, they would be stronger than any alien ship. But the system was dangerous. The connection might kill the pilot or change them forever. Still, they had to try. It was better than becoming slaves. Hannah looked at her reflection in the dark screen. Soon, she might have to leave her safe space station and go down to Earth. She might have to climb inside that giant machine and risk everything. The alien ships waited in space, like sleeping monsters. They had destroyed many worlds before Earth. They thought humans would be easy to beat, but they did not know about human stubbornness. They did not know that when humans were pushed into a corner, they became something different, something fierce. The clock kept counting down. 71 hours and 59 minutes left. Then 58 minutes. Each second brought them closer. To war. Hannah touched the communication button on her desk. All stations, this is Commander Lee. Prepare for battle. We may be small, but we will not go quietly. Around Earth, human ships got ready to fight. They were few and weak compared to the alien fleet, but they were ready to die rather than live as slaves. The countdown continued, and everyone waited to see what would happen when it reached 0. The alien ships came down like angry metal bugs. Their bright weapons lit up the sky as they attacked Earth's space stations. Hannah held tight to her chair as her station shook and groaned under the enemy fire. "We have holes in the ship," yelled Lieutenant Park. The alarms were so loud he could barely be heard. "Decks 7 and 8 are damaged. The emergency doors are holding, but not for much longer." Hannah watched through the windows as everything humans had built in space was destroyed. The big shipyards, where they built new ships, the weapon platforms that protected Earth, the huge stations that took 50 years to build, all of them were breaking apart. The alien energy weapons cut through human metal like it was paper. When humans shot back, their missiles just bounced off the alien shields. "This is Admiral Kong on the ship Seoul," came a voice over the radio. "All ships, fly straight at the enemy ships. Ram them." Hannah felt sick as she watched dozens of human ships fly directly into the alien fleet. The brave pilots knew they would die, but they hoped to take some aliens with them. A few human ships broke through the alien shields and exploded against their hulls. But for every alien ship they destroyed, 10 more appeared to take its place. Down on Earth, the big cities started moving people to safety. In Neo-Seoul, millions of people ran into underground tunnels as the first bombs began to fall from space. Huge metal rods dropped from the alien ships like giant hammers. Where they hit, whole city blocks disappeared, leaving only smoking holes in the ground. But deep underground in Australia, something new was waking up. "The brain test worked," said Dr. Choi, her voice shaking with fear and excitement. "Commander Lee's brain works perfectly with the machine. She can control it." Dr. Webb nodded with a serious face. "Get the transport ready. Bring her here right now." Above ground, the first alien soldiers landed on Earth with loud crashes that shook the ground. The creatures that came out of the landing ships were like nothing humans had ever seen. They walked on 2 legs like people, but their skin was made of crystal that sparkled in the light. They moved together like they all shared one brain. Their weapons shot beams of pure energy that turned everything they hit into smoke. Major Sujin Kong led a group of human soldiers trying to defend the city of Sydney. They hid behind the broken pieces of the famous opera house as the crystal aliens marched through the streets. "All soldiers, fall back to Checkpoint Charlie," she shouted into her radio. "We cannot stop them here." Her plasma rifle felt like a toy in her hands. When she shot at the aliens, the energy beams just bounced off their crystal armor like raindrops. Around her, good soldiers died quickly. Their bravery meant nothing against weapons that were hundreds of years ahead of human technology. The crystal aliens moved through the city like they owned it. Their energy weapons destroyed everything: cars, buildings, people. Nothing could stop them. Human bullets bounced off their armor. Human rockets exploded harmlessly against their shields. But then Dr. Webb's face appeared on every soldier's radio screen. His hair was messy, and his clothes were dirty from working so hard. "All soldiers, listen carefully," he said. "Project Titan is starting now. Commander Lee is coming to help you. Major Kang. Hold your position for 10 more minutes." In his underground lab, Dr. Webb turned to look at Hannah. She was lying on a special bed with many wires connected to her head. Her eyes were closed, but he could see them moving quickly under her eyelids as her brain connected with the giant robot's computer. "How do you feel?" he asked quietly. Hannah's eyes opened suddenly, but they looked different now. They still looked human, But there was something else there too. Something big and smart and powerful. "I feel everything," she whispered. "The robot's weapons, its computer brain, its power source. We are connected now. We are one thing." Outside the lab, the ground began to shake. The giant robot was moving for the first time. Its huge metal feet made the earth tremble as it walked toward the surface. The machine was 200 feet tall, as big as a skyscraper. It had weapons that could destroy mountains, and armor that could stop anything. As the robot came up from underground, the alien soldiers that had been attacking the secret base stopped and stared. They had never seen anything like it. It was a mechanical god that moved like a living thing. Major Kong got a message on a new radio frequency she had never heard before. The voice sounded like Hannah, but it was mixed with electronic sounds that made it ring with power. "Major Kong, this is Titan 01. We are coming to help you. Get your soldiers away from the fighting area." Through all the smoke and fire, Major Kang saw something impossible rising up from the south. A giant made of metal and energy was walking across the land like something from a dream. Its footsteps shook the ground, and its weapons glowed with deadly light. The crystal aliens turned their weapons toward this new threat, but their energy beams just bounced off its armor. For the first time since the invasion started, the aliens looked confused and maybe even afraid. The ground shook as the giant robot called Prometheus walked into the battle. Its huge body blocked out the sun as it moved through the broken city. Inside the machine, Hannah felt connected to a computer brain named Ares that talked directly to her thoughts. "I see 37 enemy soldiers," Ares whispered in her mind. "I know the best way to fight them. Should we start?" "Let's do this," Hannah said back. Her voice came out of speakers on the robot, making it sound like thunder. The crystal aliens that had been killing Major Kong's soldiers turned to shoot at this new enemy. Their energy beams hit the robot's armor, but something amazing happened. The metal plates moved and changed shape, making the alien weapons bounce off harmlessly. What happened next was something people would talk about for hundreds of years. Prometheus lifted its right arm. A weapon that humans had never built before started to glow with power. It sucked energy from the robot's heart, a fusion reactor that burned like a small star. The air around the weapon began to spark with electricity. When it fired, a bright blue beam shot out and hit the alien soldiers. 20 crystal aliens simply disappeared. They were there 1 second, and gone the next. "That's impossible," whispered Major Kong, as she watched the enemy soldiers vanish in a flash of bright light. But Hannah was just getting started. The connection between her brain and the robot let her think faster than any human ever could. Ares helped her plan every move perfectly. Together, they made Prometheus dance through the battlefield like it was performing a deadly ballet. Each step crushed alien vehicles under its massive feet. Its weapons roared like thunder gods. High up in space, Supreme Admiral Vorth watched the battle through his ship's cameras. His forearms shook with shock and anger. In 3,000 years of conquering planets, no species had ever fought back like this. "What is that machine?" he demanded from his officers. "We don't know, Admiral," one of them said. "It looks like a big robot with one pilot inside. But the technology doesn't match what humans should be able to build." Vorth's mouth parts clicked together in frustration. "Send down the war forms. If one machine thinks it can fight the whole hegemony, we will teach it a lesson." Back on Earth, Dr. Webb got the message he had been waiting for. The connection between Hannah and the robot was working perfectly. The Titan was fighting better than they had ever hoped. He quickly turned on a secret communication system hidden in his base. "All Titan pilots, come to your assigned locations immediately. We're starting all the robots now, around the world." 23 men and women got secret messages with coordinates. Major Jinwoo Park had been a fighter pilot whose whole squadron was destroyed in the first attack. Captain Yanesio Kim was a tank commander whose unit had defended Seoul until they ran out of bullets. Lieutenant Dae-sung Choi was a Navy officer whose ship was one of the few to damage an alien battleship. Each of these people had lost everything when the aliens first attacked. Each of them had been chosen not just because they were good soldiers, but because their brains could connect with the robot computers. Each of them was about to become something more than human. Within hours, the second giant robot came online. It was called Ares, and Major Park controlled it. This robot came up from a hidden base under the ruins of Tokyo. Unlike Prometheus, this machine was built for speed and hiding. Its dark armor could bend light around it, making it almost invisible. The third robot was called Athena. Captain Kim controlled it as it rose from the ashes of Seoul. This one had special defensive systems that could create energy shields big enough to protect whole city blocks. One by one, they woke up giant mechanical warriors controlled by humanity's best soldiers. Each one was a combination of human creativity and artificial intelligence. The aliens had brought huge numbers and better technology, but they had never faced an enemy that could learn and adapt during the fight. As Prometheus finished destroying the last alien ground forces in Sydney, Hannah felt Ares growing stronger. In her mind, the computer was evolving, learning from each battle, becoming something new and different. "We are more than just the sum of our parts," Ares said to her thoughts. "Your human creativity combined with my processing power creates possibilities that neither of us could achieve alone. Then let's show them what humans can do when we're backed into a corner," Hannah replied, looking up at the alien ships that still filled the sky above Earth. For the first time since the invasion began, Supreme Admiral Vorth felt something he hadn't experienced in centuries: doubt. These humans were not following any known patterns of warfare. They were not acting like the other species he had conquered. On the battlefield, the tide was turning. The crystal aliens who had seemed unstoppable were now retreating from the giant robots. Their energy weapons that had destroyed everything else barely scratched the Titan's armor. The age of human resistance had begun, and it was more terrifying than anything the galaxy had ever seen. 3 weeks had passed since the first giant robots started fighting. The war was now completely different. What the aliens thought would be an easy conquest had become a hard battle against humans who would not fight like other species. Commander Hannah Lee stood in a meeting room deep under the Rocky Mountains. Around her sat 22 other robot pilots in special chairs. Each pilot looked different now. Thin lines like computer circuits showed under their skin. Their eyes reflected light in strange ways, not like normal human eyes anymore. "The aliens are bringing more ships," said General Taek-soo-yoon, an old soldier who was now in charge of all the giant robots. "They want to make one final attack, to destroy our space defenses." Captain Yanesio Kim, who controlled the robot called Athena, leaned forward in her chair. When she spoke, 2 voices came out at the same time, her human voice and her robot computer's electronic voice mixed together. "Let them come," she said with sounds that buzzed like machines. "We have been watching how they fight. My computer partner Minerva found 17 ways their battle formations are weak." The war had changed all the pilots. Major Jinwoo Park used to be a happy fighter pilot who liked to joke around. Now he moved like his stealth robot Ares, smooth and deadly. Lieutenant Dae-sung Choi controlled his robot Poseidon with the slow, careful thinking of deep ocean waters. Each pilot had joined so completely with their robot computer that you could not tell where the human ended and the machine began. "The Mars colony is still surrounded by enemy ships," General Yoon continued. "Our spies think the aliens plan to kill everyone there as a warning to our other colonies. We must break through their blockade." Hannah stood up. Even though she was far from her robot Prometheus, she could feel it humming in her mind. The connection between pilot and machine never really stopped. She could sense her mechanical partner waiting patiently at the edge of her thoughts, ready for battle. "We will take 6 robots," she decided. "Fast attack. hit their command ship, and break their formation before they can figure out what to do. The mission that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had seen in thousands of years. 6 giant robots, launched from hidden bases on Earth. Their massive bodies flew through space on fusion engines that burned like new stars. They moved together perfectly, their computer partners sharing battle information at the speed of light, while their human pilots provided the wild creativity that no artificial intelligence could copy. Supreme Admiral Vorth watched them coming from his flagship, the huge warship called Dominion. His officers gave him constant updates, but the information made no sense. "The machines are using impossible movements," reported his sensor officer. "They are changing direction without any visible engines, and their speed patterns break the laws of physics." "Impossible," Vorth growled. "Show me." The main screen showed the attacking robots twisting through space in patterns that seemed to mock the laws of motion. What the aliens did not understand was that human pilots were not limited by normal thinking, where an alien commander would calculate the best flight paths. Humans relied on gut feelings, creativity, and pure stubborn determination. Prometheus led the attack, its massive particle cannon already building up power for the first shot. Behind it, Athena projected energy shields that deflected the heavy fire from dozens of alien ships. Ares flickered in and out of sight, its stealth systems making it appear like a ghost on alien sensors. The battle happened in the space between Mars and its largest moon, for the first time since the invasion began. Humanity was not running away, they were attacking, and they were winning. Hannah felt Prometheus's computer partner flowing through her thoughts like liquid fire, giving her targeting information faster than any human could process. But it was her human instinct that told her to ignore the largest alien ship and focus on the small ships protecting its sides. Ares, Minerva, collapsed their formation, forced them to bunch up for defense. The stealth and defensive robots moved, with perfect timing, creating gaps in the alien battle line that Prometheus attacked with devastating results. Each time the aliens tried to change their tactics, the human pilots changed their approach, guided by the kind of sideways thinking that their enemies simply could not understand. Within 4 hours, the Mars blockade was broken. The alien fleet ran away in disorder, leaving behind the wreckage of 3 capital ships and dozens of escort vessels. But the victory cost them something. Lieutenant Min Jun Song, pilot of the robot Hephaestus, had pushed his brain connection beyond safe limits during the battle. When they brought him back to base, the joining with his computer partner had gone, so far that the doctors could not tell where the man ended and the machine began. "We are changing," Dr. Webb admitted to Hannah as they watched the medical team work on Song. "The brain connections are evolving faster than we expected. Soon, the pilots will not be human anymore, at least, not completely." Hannah looked at her reflection in the medical room's window. Her eyes now showed flecks of gold, special cells that Prometheus had somehow added to her biology. "Maybe that is what we need to be," she said quietly. "Maybe being human is not enough anymore." The final battle started at the edge of Earth's solar system. More than 10,000 alien ships formed a line across space like a wall made of metal and anger. In the center was the biggest ship of all, the Eternal Dominion. It belonged to Supreme Admiral Vorth and was a kilometer long, built to show how powerful the aliens were. Hannah stood in the hangar of Titan Base Alpha, watching as the last giant robots got ready for what everyone knew would be their final fight. 23 Titans in total. Some showed marks from many battles. Others were new from factories that had been working day and night for 6 months. The pilots were not completely human anymore. The brain connection process had changed faster than anyone expected. It created new beings that could think as fast as computers, but still felt emotions like humans. When Hannah looked at her reflection in the shiny metal of Prometheus's leg, she saw eyes that glowed with their own light. Her skin had circuit patterns that pulsed with her heartbeat. She moved with the smooth precision of her robot partner. "Final check of all systems," she announced. Her voice went out on both radio waves and special quantum channels that connected all the Titan robots. "Ares, tell me your status." Her computer partner did not answer with words. Instead, it flooded her mind with information: weapons working perfectly, power core at full strength, defensive shields fully charged. But under all the technical data, she felt something else: excitement. The artificial intelligence had grown far beyond what it was originally programmed to do. It had developed what could only be called a personality. It wanted to fight, to protect, to prove that the combination of human and machine was better than any force in the galaxy. "All robots are ready," came the voice of Captain Yanesio Kim from Athena. Her joining with her computer had gone so far that she sometimes lived more in the digital world than the physical one. Her mind could flow freely between her biological brain and her Titan's quantum computers. "Minerva calculates we have a 37% chance of winning. Since when do humans care about the odds?" laughed Major Jinwoo Park from Ares. His stealth robot flickered in and out of sight as its hiding systems got ready for the mission that would either save Earth or kill them all trying. Dr. Webb's voice came through the speakers from the command center. "Titan cores, listen carefully. We're seeing some kind of huge energy building up in the main alien ship. Whatever they're planning, it's different from anything they've used before." Hannah nodded seriously. The aliens had been holding back their most terrible weapons, thinking that huge numbers would be enough. Now, facing the possibility of losing two creatures they had thought were primitive, they were getting ready to show humanity what it meant to challenge a 3,000-year-old empire. "Start launch sequence," she announced. "All robots, remember, we're not just fighting for ourselves. Every free species in the galaxy is watching this battle. If we lose here, tyranny wins for another 1,000 years." The Titans launched in perfect formation. Their fusion engines painted space with streams of artificial fire. They sped toward the enemy fleet at speeds that would have crushed any normal human. But their pilots rode within fields of controlled gravity that canceled out the deadly forces. As they got closer, the true size of their enemy became clear. The alien fleet was huge, beyond understanding. Millions of tons of advanced technology, manned by crews that had never known defeat. Their weapons could crack planets, and their shields had survived the fury of entire star systems. "Prometheus, this is impossible," Ares said privately to Hannah. "The mathematical chance of victory is almost zero. Then will have to be impossible." "Two," she replied, her hybrid consciousness already flowing into the Titan's combat systems. "Show them what humans do when the odds are impossible." The first shot came from the Eternal Dominion, a beam of pure energy that tore across space like the finger of an angry god. The blast would have vaporized any normal fleet, but the Titans were far from normal. Athena projected defensive barriers that bent the beam around the formation, while Ares and its stealth group flickered through dimensions that normal sensors could not detect. What followed was not just a battle, but a war, fought in 3 dimensions across huge areas of space. The Titans used tactics that made no sense to normal military thinking. Prometheus used its massive body as a shield for smaller robots, while Poseidon created gravity wells that pulled enemy ships into crashes with their own allies. But it was the combination of human gut feelings and artificial intelligence that proved decisive. Where the aliens relied on proven tactics and overwhelming force, the Titan pilots fought with desperate creativity. They ignored impossible moves, performed suicidal attacks, and worked together through quantum-connected consciousness in ways that their enemies simply could not predict. Hannah guided Prometheus into the heart of the enemy formation. Her consciousness had merged so completely with Ares that she could process the locations and movements of 10,000 enemy ships at the same time. Together, They turned the massive Titan into a weapon of impossible precision. The final battle for humanity's freedom had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again.